must lose out. No!
Area is sanitized. All targets destroyed. Solid copy. No movement detected. 2-6 going into holding pattern.
Betrayal, a powerful storytelling device, and in gaming it can hit like a freight train when it's done right. It's personal, shocking, and leaves you questioning everything. Back in 2009, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 delivered one of the most iconic betrayals in gaming history, with General Shepard turning on Roach and Ghost in a moment that still gives fans, including myself, chills 16 years later. Now this just wasn't only a plot twist, it was a masterclass in storytelling that defined the Modern Warfare series for a generation. Fast forward to 2022, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the reboot tries to recapture that magic with Commander Philip Graves and Shadow Company betraying Task Force 141 and Los Vaqueros in the mission alone. But instead of a gut-wrenching betrayal, it feels like a forced nostalgia bait that falls flat right on its face, leaving me more confused than betrayed. To understand this, let's travel back to 2009. You've got your Xbox 360 or maybe a PS3. Though I was Team Xbox all the way in that generation. And you've picked up Modern Warfare 2 and you're experiencing one of the greatest COD campaigns ever. General Shepard's betrayal in the game hits so hard because of how well it's set up. Shepard isn't just a background character, he's a constant presence woven into the campaign's fabric. From the opening mission, he's briefing Sergeant Private Allen and Task Force 141, delivering rousing speeches about restoring Americans' dominance, and even talking directly to Private Allen.
We are the most powerful military force in the history of man. Every fight is our fight. Because what happens over here matters over there. We don't get to sit one out. Learning to use the tools of modern warfare is the difference between the prospering of your people and utter destruction. We can't give you freedom, but we can give you the know-how to acquire it. And that, my friends, is worth more than a whole army base of steel. This is a time for heroes, a time for legends. History is written by the victors. Let's get to work.
In Team Player, he's on the ground with you in Afghanistan, showing you he's not just a desk general, he's willing to face the action head on. That moment builds trust in him as a leader, making you believe he's got your back. But there are cracks in his facade if you look closely. His bitterness over losing 30,000 Marines in Call of Duty's 4 Shock and Awe mission, where Nuke wipes out his forces, seeps into his tone. He is driven by vengeance, not duty, and his speeches about being a patriot and a hero sound more like a man obsessed with rewriting history. All of this builds to the betrayal in loose ends. You just fought through a brutal gauntlet to secure intel on Makarov, and you're exhausted, both as a player and as Roach. Shepard shows up, and for a split second, you think you're safe. Then he himself pulls the trigger, shooting Roach, and goes point blank, dousing their bodies in gasoline and lighting them up with his cigar to cover his tracks. That moment is visceral. You're watching through Roach's fading vision as the flames consume you. Shepard's final speech.
5 years ago, I lost 30,000 men in the blink of an eye. And the world just fucking watched.
He orchestrated the entire war, using 141 as pawns to spark global conflict and cement his legacy as a hero. It is earned through the hours of subtle build-up in the campaign, making you feel betrayed as a player, not just as a character, because you initially trusted Shepard. After that, in the final brawl in Endgame, where you fight hand to hand and he nearly kills Price, makes you really feel like you're fighting for your life against a real threat. OG Shepard might be an unrealistic depiction of a modern general, but that's what makes him so awesome, larger than life, with killer quotes and a presence that looms over the campaign. Now, shifting gears, let's go back to Modern Warfare 2022's Betrayal, and which happens in the mission alone about 2/3 into the campaign. Up until this point, Commander Philip Graves and his American PMC Shadow Company have been your allies. For those who haven't played, Graves, to put it frankly, is a charismatic mercenary leader. I know, it's kind of hard to find one of those, I bet in real life. and he's sent by General Shepard to help Task 141 and the Mexican Special Forces Los Vaqueros, or the Cowboys, to hunt down Major Hassan Ziani and recover 3 American ballistic missiles. Graves burst onto the scene in the opening mission strike, guiding a missile to kill the Iranian Quds leader during a Russian arms deal. He's a key player in missions like Close Air and Darkwater, providing AC-130 support and leading an oil rig assault to secure a missile. I personally loved him as a character. He was a very interesting character, and his AC-130 missions were a highlight, with him calling out, "Light them up," as you rain fire from above. The oil assault in Darkwater was absolute adrenaline, with the Shadow Company and 141 working like a well-oiled machine.
Huh?
I mean, he's one little critique. He is a bit smug, but who doesn't love a confident ally covering your 6? So when Graves suddenly turns on you in Alone, without any warning, announcing that Shadow Company is taking over Los Vaqueros base, detaining Alejandro's men and opening fire on Soap and Ghost, it feels like a betrayal of the player's investment in their camaraderie, not a well-earned story twist. The game later reveals that Shepard and Shadow Company are covering up a botched missile deal, but the logic falls apart, because earlier, in Violence and Timing, CIA agent Kate Laswell warns that killing Hassan would be an act of war due to his ties. Shepard, wary of legal fallout, agrees not to kill or detain him, yet he is fine with Shadow Company occupying a Mexican military base and attacking Los Vaqueros, Mexico's own special forces. Seizing a foreign base and trying to murder Allied operatives is a far bigger diplomatic disaster than a covert hit on a terrorist. A quieter move like using Shadow Company to eliminate Hassan discreetly would have tied up loose ends without alienating his best operatives. Shepard's actions feel like a reckless tantrum, not the calculated moves of the 2009 Shepard. Here's the core issue. Modern Warfare 2 doesn't earn this twist. In 2009, Shepard's betrayal worked because of his constant presence and narrative groundwork. He was a fleshed out character. In Modern Warfare 2, Shepard is a shadow of his former self, relegated to a few video calls, cutscenes, and barking orders from a safe distance with no menace or that much depth. He lacks the aura that made OG Shepard a larger-than-life villain. He's basically General Shepard in name only, a glorified cameo thrown in for nostalgia. The betrayal feels contrived, like it was obligated to happen just because he shares the same name as his 2009 counterpart. And the resolution is an absolute letdown. In Modern Warfare 3, Shepard's betrayal is wrapped up in a post-credits scene. A post-credits scene. What? This is the guy who defined COD's most iconic twists, and the reboot throws him away like an afterthought. It's a generational fumble.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Activision is one of the most laziest companies in the world right now. I cannot believe why and how they managed to do that. Beyond Shepard's lack of presence, the betrayal in Alone lacks emotional weight. There's no foreshadowing, no cryptic comments from Graves, no clashes with 141, nothing to hint at his turn. He goes from bro to enemy in an instant. And the game expects you to feel the same shock as 2009 without doing the work. In Modern Warfare 2, Shepard's speeches planted seeds of doubt you could see in hindsight. Fast forwarding to 2022's betrayal, it's just, like I mentioned, nostalgia bait. The writers leaned on the legacy of the original without building the stakes or the character depth to make it land. It also shows that more realism doesn't equal a better game. OG Shepard was over the top, but that made him compelling, a villain you love to hate. The new Shepard and Shadow Company's betrayal lacks the build-up and depth that will make you actually care about it, leaving it feeling it flat. So what could a Modern Warfare 2 2022 have done differently to avoid this betrayal misstep? So I'm gonna give an alternate version of Alone that I made up, and I think this would have raised the stakes and kept the campaign's momentum. Like, I know it's great, and I know you're gonna think it's great. Activision Blizzard, I don't like your games and stuff, the way you do things, but if you want to give me a job to write up your stories, I'm right over here. But anyway, back to the main point. So, hear me out on this one. Instead of Shadow Company turning traitor, imagine the Los Alamos cartel, their corrupt Mexican army allies, stage a brutal ambush on Los Vaqueros' base to free Valeria Garza, captured in the mission El Sonombre. Now this mission does an incredible job establishing the power of the cartel. You got Lieutenant Diego Salgado, who brags about wanting a gunship, saying, "If you own the sky, you own everything." Now, this line shows how dangerous and ambitious the cartel is, willing to go any length to maintain control. So, a cartel-led ambush would have shown that Task Force 141 and Los Vaqueros can't just waltz into the cartel's region, guns ablazing, without serious consequences. It would be a humbling and terrifying moment, highlighting the cartel's influence in Los Alamos. So this setup would have made Alone even more gripping. Picture Soap navigating a city under siege with the cartel enforcers and corrupt soldiers hunting him down in the rain-soaked streets. Ghost is on the radio guiding him to safety, but the stakes are higher than ever. Valeria's escape could hand the remaining missile back to Alcatala, putting countless lives at risk. The mission would now have a clear purpose: survive, regroup, and stop the cartel from regaining control. This could have leaned into their campaign's strongest element, the subplot of the cartel storyline, and the moral grayness of operating in a foreign country. Plus, avoid the betrayal trope altogether, letting Shadow Company stay allies. Keeping Graves on our side could have set up an epic team up in the final missions like Ghost Team or Countdown, where Shadow Company's AC-130s complement 141's grit in the battle against Hassan in Chicago. Would you have preferred this cartel twist over Shadow Company's betrayal? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. I still think that I would have really enjoyed this one. But also, here's another idea that I think might be even better if you want to go the betrayal route. You can make the betrayal more personal. What if Rodolfo or Rudy Parra, Alejandro's loyal sergeant, was secretly a cartel mole? Rudy's bond with Alejandro is a highlight of the campaign, and in missions like Borderline, where they banter like Alejandro calling Rudy Hermano, making their brotherhood feel real. So imagine the shock that if Rudy had been feeding intel to Valeria the whole time, orchestrating her escape. In this version of Alone, Soap and Ghost would be scrambling to survive a cartel ambush caused by Rudy's betrayal. This twist would hit harder because of their personal stakes. Rudy's actions would devastate Alejandro, adding an emotional and probably a sort of a very angry layer to the mission. It also tied directly to the cartel storyline, keeping the campaign focused on the strongest themes instead of forcing a Shepard betrayal cliche. Taking a step back, Modern Warfare 2 2022's campaign is a missed opportunity. It has moments of great fun, no doubt about it. The stealth gameplay in Alone is atmospheric, with Soap crafting tools to survive and bantering with Ghost, talking about which one's more handsome. The cartel intrigue in El Sonombre adds ambiguity as you infiltrate Valeria's inner circle, and Graves' charisma brings a fresh vibe to the team. But the betrayal in Alone derails the campaign's momentum, undermining the stronger elements. The game wants you to feel shock, but without the build-up, stakes, and emotional weight. It personally, for me, it just doesn't land. This isn't a problem with the betrayal, it's the symptom of the reboot's broader struggles, in my opinion. The Modern Warfare reboot tries to balance gritty realism with the blockbuster action of the original trilogy, but it often stumbles. Reboot Shepard is a prime example by making him more realistic, a general who stays behind a desk, avoiding the front lines. The writers stripped away what made OG Shepard compelling. Realism can be great, but not at the expense of character depth and stakes. The betrayal also highlights the reboot's over-reliance on nostalgia. The writers knew Shepard's name carries weight for long-time fans, like his name screams betrayal, so they felt obligated to include a betrayal arc even if it wasn't earned. But nostalgia alone can't carry a story. It's a hell of a drug, but it needs groundwork to back it up, something Modern Warfare 2 lacks. The original trilogy wasn't afraid to take risks, blending over-the-top action with morally grey dilemmas, like the infamous No Russian mission, where you're an undercover agent in a terrorist attack to spark a global war. Modern Warfare 2, like many of the recent Call of Duty campaigns, plays it safe, leaning on familiar tropes without the boldness or depth to make them meaningful. But what's your take? Did Alone shock you? Or did it fall flat like it did for me? Do you think Call of Duty should ease off the betrayal tropes and try something new? Or they can still make it work as long as they do the narrative groundwork. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm reading every single one. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this, dive into the storytelling and why I don't think the Betrayal worked. Smash that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and stay frosty, and I'll see you out there next time. Peace out.